Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now then, this post is coming out later because me, Rory23, Mr. What If, and Lord Shenron, we're having trouble. We were trying to record part 2 of the collab, but things are a little annoying because living in different time zones and everything that's been going on today, it has not worked out very well. We are going to try and work on that, but we got something planned out for it. Things did work out in the end, so it was not all bad. We at least have some things scheduled, if not some things planned out. Now, in saying that, this is going to be part 9, I believe, to What If Deku Had Decay. Okay, now let's see. When we last left off, we just had Aizawa's fitness exam, or his test to basically see who stays in 1A. Now, Deku, he's been studying up on everyone in 1A, along with the fact that he's got most of their quirks written down, and he has most of the things, if not a list of targets, who he believes would basically be the biggest threat during the USJ attack. Well, or at least what they have planned. Now, while Deku has that going on, All Might, he's somewhat got a small list. People he believes can inherit One for All. Most of them are people in Class 1A, but you also have Mina, Kirishima, Bakugo. Those three, they are the physically strongest. Because, well, All Might believes that if they were to inherit One for All, their bodies would have an easier time. If someone like Shoji, since he is physically stronger with his quirk, things might get weird. So he's trying to figure it out in his head. Now, let's say that I believe that it was a week later that the Heroes vs. Villains happened. I'm not so sure, but let's just say that he's figuring it out between that week, or however many days he has. Now, the Heroes vs. Villains. Deku and Mina, well, All Might would come bursting into the room saying that he is here and that he will be their combat instructor for the day. They are going to be doing a Heroes vs. Villains exam. So, two teams are going to be facing off against each other. One team is going to be heroes, the other is going to be villains. Now then, let us go, as they would all go outside and figure things out. Now, they would actually all change into their hero costumes, and Deku, since the fact that him and Mina do vigilante work in black, they are not going to be wearing black outfits. Deku and Mina, well, Deku's not, but he would be wearing a standardized outfit somewhat like this, and he actually has he doesn't have the hands or anything covering his face, but he does have the gloves, and he doesn't have this actual thing right here, the black sleeve. Now, let's say he actually doesn't have that, and people actually do see the hole in his arm as they're asking questions. People actually would see the scar on Bakugo's arm, and they actually start asking questions about that. Bakugo would just say that the villain over there, whenever they were younger, there was a little accident with his quirk. His quirk? But wait, doesn't his quirk decay things? How are you even alive? His quirk was in its infancy. He accidentally touched me with all 5 fingers. I accidentally blasted him in the face. So, I had to have that part of my arm removed. In fact, because of that, I've actually had to use my left hand most of the time. Basically, Bakugo is explaining that he's left-handed because of it. That, yes, he can still move his arm and do all these things with it, but it took quite a bit of time to heal. So he's actually able to use both hands for writing and actually reading, basically. Having no dominant hand. Now, because of that, All Might would hear that, and he immediately just marks out Bakugo as not fit, since he basically does have an injury in his life. Well, if not, he does have an injury that might get worse. so he just marks him off. Now, Deku and Mina are actually told that they will be the heroes for this exam. Quite ironic. Well, Kirishima and Bakugo will be the villains. Now then, Mina, she would actually show off her hero outfit, which is her villain outfit. This is a villain Mina AU. And I actually found this out. Okay, now then. This is actually the villain Mina outfit for the AU. Well, for this one. Now, I actually saw this and thought it was pretty cool, along with the fact that the eyeshadow she wears basically pulls it off better. Now, Mina steps out in this, and Deku, he steps out in this. People basically see that, hey, some of the top people that essentially are not recommended, some of the top people in the class actually do have quite a bit of scars. That's pretty crazy. Now, after that, Deku and Mina, they're basically somewhat giggling and actually talking with each other as people are watching this. Are those two actually friends, or what's going on with them? Oh, you didn't hear? Kirishima said that they were a couple. Along with Bakugo actually telling him that. Wait, so not only are they some of the strongest people here, but they're also from the same school, a couple, and also in Class 1A? That's insane. Yeah, I know. Now, Deku and Mina, they would actually wait as Bakugo and Kirishima would get set up. All Might's thinking that this fight will basically choose his successor, since the top three people, or the only two left that he's thinking about, are left in the fight. Now then, Deku, as soon as he hears go, he immediately would just basically slip off his gloves, and he would immediately start touching the supports to the building, weakening it and actually making it somewhat shift a little. All Might sees that he's immediately confused, as Deku would just put his glove back on and they would both walk in. Mina's asking questions, she's acting like candid Mina, basically. Stupid, silly, and someone asking questions, but this is just her act. Now, as they're walking through, Deku, he's explaining that he's trying to think about this. Bakugo, he has those giant gauntlets. He's seen him throw off giant explosions a couple months ago, during that whole Sludge Villain incident. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so if I weaken the building, then he shouldn't be able to do that without bringing us all down. Are you serious? He's not that stupid, is he? Well, I haven't seen him in a while, but from the way he's acting, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Now, Kirishima, he's actually running downstairs as Mina, she immediately gets ready. She hears Kirishima actually walking down the stairs above them as she actually brings her hands up and sprays acid. As that happens, she just sprays acid on the stairs above her and actually in the corridor in front of her. Kirishima, he immediately just runs in as his feet step into this puddle. He immediately hardens his skin as he actually begins slipping and actually falling down. Now, with that, Mina, she immediately looks at Kirishima, and Deku actually watches as she would actually go in to try and throw a punch, but as soon as she hits his hardened skin, it actually doesn't work. Now, after that, Deku, him and Mina are actually fighting as Deku just keeps punching and punching and punching at Kirishima, but that's not working. Kirishima keeps throwing punches, but Deku and Mina are actually faster and more agile than him, as they've had years of vigilante work under their belt. So they beat him in combat experience, but not quirk potential. Now, Deku, he actually thinks about using his quirk, but he immediately just backs out of the fight for a second, as Mina is basically just throwing things all on the ground and actually trying to make the floor stickier, making it very runny and hard to walk through. Basically like walking through mud. Now, as she did that, Deku, he's actually thinking as he just tells Mina to actually turn up her acid a bit, and just spray it at him. Mina's confused as she just thinks, okay, as she actually just starts doing so. She actually does form a thing around her hand as she does an acid shot. As that entire straight line is going for Kirishima, he sees this and actually brings up his arms to block. But as he does so, he immediately gets soaked in it as he is actually having his skin tingle. He immediately just comes up out of the acid and starts trying to wipe it off himself, asking what that was. Deku would just say that he has hardened skin, right? That means whatever is underneath is not hardened. So, we can at least try breaking down your defenses a bit. As Deku, he actually just runs in and punches at Kirishima. Kirishima brings his arm up to block, but as Deku punches into him, this actually does affect Kirishima physically, with it actually hurting. Deku and Mina would just team up on him, as Bakugo comes flying in. Bakugo would immediately just stop them as Deku, he would dodge and he actually does touch one of Bakugo's gauntlets. As that happened, Bakugo immediately just sees it decaying as he actually does take the thing off and throw it straight at Deku. Deku sees this and he immediately just grabs it and actually just tosses it straight back at him. As he says that if he lets off an explosion, the structure of the building's already weakened. You know that, right? God damn it. So, if I throw one explosion, I'll bring us all down, right? Shitty villain. I told you, Bakugo, you're the villain here, not me. As Deku actually begins smirking and smiling. Now, Mina would effectively take down Kirishima, along with the fact that she would actually just start spraying him with non-lethal acid. Basically her acid on the lowest setting to counteract her other one. People are confused at what she's doing as Kirishima, he would immediately just have the capture tape wrapped around him. She would just say that this will basically make it to where the acid doesn't hurt you anymore. Now then, as that happened, Mina, she sees Bakugo and Deku actually fighting as Deku's dodging, actually trying to kick him, along with Bakugo just recklessly throwing around explosions and power. Now, Mina actually does run in as Bakugo hears behind him, he turns around and Mina actually does meet him with a fist to the face. As Deku, he brings up his leg, actually kicking Bakugo in his ribs. As that happens, Bakugo, he goes flying a little, as Deku just tells Bakugo that he's physically stronger. Even then, like I said, your explosions are going to bring the place down. Shit. Mina, go get the bomb. I can hold him off. You really think you can take me on your own, Deku? Bakugo, I haven't seen you in years. Even then, I've had more experience than you. What? How? Mr. Shigaraki, he was going to be a hero, but he died. Even then, he taught me a few things. Of course, a villain taught a villain. How ironic. I told you, Mr. Shigaraki wasn't a villain. He died a hero. As Bakugo, he immediately brings up his gauntlet, actually going to pull the pin. As he immediately just begins pulling it, he thinks about it, and he immediately just aims the gauntlet down. Deku rushes in, actually grabbing it and forcing the pin back in, actually just touching and decaying the entire thing around him. Bakugo's in shock as he immediately just grabs it, slips off the entire sleeve, including the thing that the gauntlet holds onto. He immediately just starts shouting that, "God damn it, nerd! That could have actually taken off my arm. You were going to take us all out, including the entire building, just because you're a sore loser!" As Deku immediately just punches him, socking him across the face with his left arm. Now, as that happens, Mina, she would capture the bomb, and they would be declared the winners. All Might's just thinking that, young Mina. Potential and strategy, along with your pairing with Deku. Quite a good team. Now, All Might, he would come to them afterwards as he would tell them to stay after school. They would basically meet with All Might, and this is whenever All Might would basically buff down and say that they already know about this, but one thing he hasn't told them is about his quirk. Deku immediately has his eyes widen, and he acts shocked along with Mina as they hear about One for All. So, wait, you can pass down your quirk? Yes, it's been passed down from him as All Might gives the explanation All for One gave Deku. These two just act surprised as All Might offers it to Mina. And with the fact that she didn't know she would have to eat his hair, this is her actually being real shocked, as she has to swallow the hair. Now, she would do so, and All Might would just say, in a couple hours, the quirk will basically be transferred. It just takes time to digest. Now, in the next week, we have to prepare you to use that quirk. It's going to be a bit tricky and weird at first, but it'll at least work. Let's at least hope you get a handle on it before the sports festival. Oh yeah, that's coming up, I forgot. As All Might, he just sits down and explains with them about everything that they need to know about the quirk. Nana Shimura, and he would just explain to Deku that Tomura was actually Nana Shimura's grandson. Along with the fact that he thought the same thing about Deku, but after what happened to his mom and basically looking into him a little bit more, he finds that that's not true. Along with the fact that his dad is still overseas. Deku just says that he hasn't met his dad in quite a little while. Now, along with that, they would all basically talk, and that is whenever they would leave for the day. As soon as Deku basically get out of All Might's view and actually go back to the warehouse, these two immediately just burst up laughing as they did it. Jeez, that was easier than we thought. So, why do you think he just gave me One for All? Well, I kinda had something planned out, but that's not what I thought would happen. What do you mean? Well, I kinda had a list of candidates, but apparently, I think All Might heard about Bakugo's injury, along with the fact that it actually made him use another hand for a minute, if not actually weakened him. And I want to say he would have given it to Kirishima. Sadly, he lost. I think he just bet everything on this fight. So wait, you're telling me he gave me the quirk because the top candidates were all in one fight? That's hilarious. No, not even that. I can't believe we were playing the heroes. These two are just laughing and doing all that. Now, this is whenever one of Deku's guys would basically walk up and actually ask them what's going on. You guys have been coming and going for quite a minute. Oh, we're going to UA. What? But boss, I thought you guys were just gonna listen to me. We just got All Might's quirk. Are you guys serious? As Deku pulls together all of his henchmen and explains what's been going on. Now, he would just say that now Mina has the power, and in fact, this is going to be quite fun. As these two would basically rally their men and actually call All for One. Now, these two would basically retire to Deku's room for a minute as they call him, and All for One would just pick up the phone asking what's going on. They would just say that they got it. Really? So which one of you two has it? Mina. Ah. Good. Midoriya. What? Your quirk is quite fascinating. It's actually pretty astounding at how it works. But I just wondered how far your quirk would be pushed if it had One for All. Wait, so you wanted me to have it? Well, I did, but apparently with Tomura, or that hero, He denied it because of how his quirk works and explaining it better to All Might. So, that's our loss. Now, that is where I'm going to be leaving things off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. And I actually did want to make the USJ attack its own separate event. Now, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be posting again soon.